Good things come to those who wait. Welcome into this edition of Warchant TV. He is Michael Langston, recruiting analyst for Warchant.com, the ultimate Seminoles sports source. Promo code bottom of your screen. I'm Aslan Hajavani, director of digital media for Warchant.com. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Warchant TV. We thought signing day was over on Wednesday, Michael, but simply it's just the beginning of a window, which Florida State tapped into on Friday. Again, good things come to those who wait, and comes in about a size package of what, 6'4", 200-something pounds?
Yeah, pretty big news for FSU today with Malik McClain coming back in the fold. Daphne, Alabama, committed to FSU. I'll be honest, guys, I don't get surprised often, but this one really caught me off guard, but the Noles got it done, and I was told that a big part of that was, wide receivers coach Ron Dugan's had a big effect on that. I think they had some really good conversations. I think Kenny Dillingham was also really big on it. And Mackenzie Milton, I would think. I haven't heard directly from Malik yet. I haven't talked to him yet, but I think that probably was very helpful as far as in this race too, to have established certainly quarterback. But I think the relationship too was really good between FSU and Malik throughout the whole process. But I'll be honest, I'll call a spade a spade. I really didn't think they would have enough to pull it off. You usually don't see a kid decommit and a couple of days later end up signing with that school he decommitted from. So I was very surprised, and a very huge big surprise for FSU to pull that off. Now, we'll say Mackenzie Milton had followed him on Instagram last night, and I noticed that, but I'm just kind of like, that happens so often with kids that you can't read too much into it. But now that, things have happened the way they've happened today, it's kind of, I probably should have put more merit into that. But regardless, big pickup. They need help at receiver. They now have two receivers in the class as far as the early signing period. He is supposed to be an early enrollee as well, so that's even more of a bonus of FSU having. So he'll be in there. They can count him towards the 2022 class if they want to. A very, very good downfield catcher as far as down the field. Great speed for a guy that's 6'5", 210 pounds. This kid can really move. He's certainly going to stretch the field vertically for you. Can make the physical catches across the middle, although I'd like to see him do more of that when I watch his film. I think he can do that part of his game a little bit more. Can run his routes a little more crisp from what I've seen. But a massive pickup for FSU of a guy that certainly, if he gets the offense down, he can come in there and help you, pretty quickly just because of that speed alone. So I think he will add a lot to your program. I don't know if I'd call him like a first-year definite impact guy, but I think he's a guy that if he gets down everything and gets into the offense, I think you could see, a lot more Malik as the season goes on, like next year. So we'll see.
Michael, I don't want to spoil the backstories edition of signing day, because that's a big hit over on the premium recruiting board for Warchant.com. But, to your point, this is not something you see often. You don't see a kid stay committed for a long while, decommit kind of in the last minute, and then end up coming back into the boat. Do we know did Ole Miss have, I don't want to say better option, but did Ole Miss cool, or was this a case of just Florida State really turning it on, do you think?
I think I think they wanted him. I don't think they spent that much time going after him and then deciding they're not. Ole Miss lost I think one kid was Deion Smith they thought they were going to get. They didn't get. And then, they got the Quay Davis kid yesterday. Everyone was assuming that the Quay Davis had to do with the Deion Smith, but I think it's probably to do with Malik McClain not going there, and then probably telling their coaches, hey, I'm going elsewhere. I haven't heard anything. There's going to be a lot of excuse making, whether you win or lose. Lane likes to troll people, and Lane likes to do this flipmas, as he calls it. So there's going to be trolling back and forth. No matter what I say, whatever I say, Ole Miss is going to say, oh yeah, we didn't want him, or he didn't want to play in the SEC or something like that. But I think from FSU's perspective, they never let up. They made sure this kid was a priority. Even when he decommitted, they were like, okay, we're still going to come after you hard. We want you in this class. I have not heard anything from the Ole Miss side that indicates to me that they did not want him. But I think it was a situation where when you get in these things where it's decision time, he decommitted, but he came back and he listened to them. The fact that he was talking to FSU, I thought was important enough. I mentioned that, but I didn't think they would pull it off. But I think it goes back to relationships and having people in the relationship for so long, like FSU was. And then with Ole Miss, they just came in there, tried to get them late, tried to push for them late. Where I'm sure there's some form of relationship, but the FSU ones went deeper. Obviously, he has a great relationship with Kenny Dillingham. He knows him from previous times. And then I think the relationship with Ron Dugan's certainly only evolved throughout the whole process. You wonder how much the news of yesterday of I guess making it public about Odo Hagan's and Ron Dugan's extensions as well. That okay, this guy's going to for sure be there, even though that's kind of old news. But you wonder how much that also impacted it. That he knew his guy's going to be there, that he has a good relationship with.
Right. Good thing is I kind of went in reverse order of the highlights you folks saw. So the first kind of clips you saw of Malik were from his most recent season down at IMG Academy. The ones you just saw probably about a minute ago were from his time at Daphne in Alabama. I think he definitely looked better, I think, in the clip you saw at the beginning. So a guy that's definitely grown. But 6'5", 195, I know you're not saying a day one contributor, but do you think he's a guy that might be a little bit more polished coming in than Portier was or Brian Robinson was, or is he between those two guys?
I think Portier is kind of similar. I think he's faster than Portier. He's got more speed than Portier, so he will be a guy that you can use in different sets. Kind of compare him when I look at him like Sammy Coates that played at Auburn. He kind of does some of the same things there as far as the way he gets downfield and those kind of things. I think it really just depends on his grasp of the offense, how fast he gets comfortable. But it'll help speed things up, assuming Mackenzie Milton is what we think he is. Mackenzie comes in there, grabs a bull by the horns, gets the job. This offense is clicking. I think you'll see him much more in there because his comfort level will get very high when you have an established elite quarterback. So I think it really depends on the offense. But I think overall, body frame, he's already there. He's going to be ready to help FSU. I think red zones, I think you kind of see him do some work there. I think he'll help there. And the other note I would say that I learned today is that I get the impression, because when FSU missed on the Estrada kid from Dartmouth, I get the impression that the majority of their class, rest of the receivers, are going to be either high school or JUCO. I think they're going to go. I don't think they're going to go the transfer market to get another receiver. I think everything's going to be in either the high school, mostly high school, or JUCO. Certainly, Destin Hill's a guy I feel really good. They got a really good chance of signing. I think he will pick FSU eventually. So if you get those three, that gives you three, and then if you can add another one, maybe a Tavares Dawson or somebody else out there that's a wide receiver target. That will give you four, and that's plenty receivers. I think in a class to get four receivers, that will help them plenty. But that was the big note I got earlier today, was that most of the remaining receivers they get are likely going to be either high school or JUCO. That's what I was told today.
All right. Malik McClain becomes the 17th member of the class of 2021. That leaves Florida State with at least 8 more spots to fill up. Michael Langston will keep you updated over on the premium recruiting board on warchant.com. Use that promo code WARCHANT30 if you're not already a member. Michael, your time, your knowledge, as always, man, very much valued and appreciated.
Appreciate it, man.